Hi, my name is Kyle. I didn't bother to write any lines for this video because I thought I could wing it, but I'm now learning that that's going to be a very hard thing to do, to ad-lib this entire video. For one, I only have a vague idea of where I want to go with this story, so it's going to be really hard to try to connect all the dots. Another thing is that I have no idea where my hands are supposed to be, or my face, because I choreograph every single detail into every second of the video, so my facial expressions are completely off. Like, I have no idea what I'm supposed to be doing. This is gonna be an awkward video, is basically what I'm saying. But that kind of fits in with the awkward story, because I love awkward moments. Well, other than when they're happening, of course, because, you know, it's quite awkward and embarrassing when that happens, when you're in the awkward moment. But afterwards, it is a great story for you to tell all your friends or your YouTube audience. So that creates a very awkward, long intro. Brace yourselves for an awkward Randomania Nurse. Alright, so right before we get into the meat of the actual story, I've got a little bit of a backstory for you all, and apparently it has to do with karate chops. Maybe I'm trying to do a backhand chop that has to do with backstory. Man, I wish I would have written lines. So my family would get together every once in a while, and we had this neighbor that none of us really trusted. We didn't trust him because we didn't have any idea what he was up to. He was like a mysterious man. And we had this nickname for him, which was Evil and then his name. So for this video, we'll just call him Evil E. So Evil E was a very untrustworthy, mysterious man, which is exactly what I just said, but because I have no lines, I said it again. This one time when my brother and I were quite young and we didn't know the backstory about Evil E, and backstory as in he was mysterious and untrustworthy, we decided to walk over to his place because he was outside, and for some reason my brother and I thought it was alright for us to just walk over to our neighbors' places and talk to them all the time. And just, you know, pass by, hey, how you doing, Mrs. whatever your name was back then? I don't remember. I only know Evil E. That's the only one that stuck into my mind because of his backstory, because he's untrustworthy and mysterious. So because I was 4 years older than my brother, I would always be the one to initiate the conversations with these neighbors, and he would just kind of hang back, acting all cute. So after talking to Evil E for a while, I determined that he's an alright kind of guy. He's nice, he's talking to me, but then he starts talking about this story about how he met a woman who was 30 years younger than him, but the exact same as him. They both had names starting with the letter E, they had the same birthday other than the year, they apparently went to the same university, took the same major, eventually went to careers in the same field. Basically everything was the same, even neighbors who didn't trust them because they were deemed as a mysterious man. Which I thought was weird because apparently this was a girl. By the end of it, Evil E says that this is the exact version of himself, 30 years younger and a female. And then he asks, so is this just a coincidence? Or is this perhaps something more? That there was a purpose to our meeting, that there was a reason why we had so many similarities and finally met up and became good friends. So after a few seconds of silence, I decide to answer him. And obviously I'm going to go with the one where he juiced it all up, saying, you know, it's something more because there's so many more details to that. And bear in mind, I'm also 8 years old. And Evil E goes, nah, it's probably just a coincidence. Now get off my property. What? A coincidence? I'm 8 years old. I probably didn't even know what a coincidence was at that point. Plus, he also said, is it a coincidence or is it blah 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 blah? Obviously I'm going to go for the blah 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 blah. There's a lot more detail into it. I'm 8 years old. Lots of information usually is the right one. So was it a coincidence that I met up with Evil E? Or was it something more? That he was trying to get back at my family for calling him an untrustworthy person and a mysterious man? What? It's just a coincidence? And get off my property?